Today we will read Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 16, Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. Text 20. Please repeat after me. Ayam huvo mandalam odayadrer.
Ayam huvo mandalam odayadrer.
Ayam huvo mandalam odayadrer.
Ayam huvo mandalam odayadrer.
Gopte kaviro naradevanatha.
Gopte kaviro naradevanatha.
Gopte kanviro naradevanatha.
Gopte kaviro naradevanatha.
Asthaya jaitram ratham atachapaha.
Asthaya jaitram ratham atachapaha.
Asthaya jaitram ratham atachapaha.
Asthaya jaitram ratham atachapaha.
Paryasyate dakshinato yatharkaha.
Paryasyate dakshinato yatharkaha.
Paryasyate dakshinato yatharkaha.
Paryasyate dakshinato yatharkaha.
This king, being uniquely powerful and heroic, will have no competitor. He will travel around the globe on his victorious chariot, holding his invincible bow in his hand and appearing exactly like the sun, which rotates in its own orbit from the south. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In this verse, the word yatharkaha indicates that the sun is not fixed, but is rotating in its orbit, which is set by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita and also in other parts of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the sun rotates in its own orbit at the rate of 16,000 miles per second. Similarly, Brahma Samhita states, Yasya Gyaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakraha. The sun rotates in its own orbit according to the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conclusion is that the sun is not fixed in one place. As far as Prithu Maharaj is concerned, it is indicated that his ruling power would extend all over the world. The Himalaya mountains, from which the sunrise is first seen, are called Udayachala or Udayadri. It is herein indicated that Prithu Maharaj's reign over the world would cover even the Himalaya mountains and extend to the borders of all oceans and seas. In other words, his reign would cover the entire planet. Another significant word in this verse is Naradeva, as described in previous verses. The qualified king, be he King Prithu or any other king who rules over the state as an ideal king, should be understood to be God in human form. According to Vedic culture, the king is honored as the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he represents Narayana, who also gives protections to the citizens. He is therefore Natha, or the proprietor. Even Sanatana Goswami gave respect to Nawab Hussain Shah as Naradeva, although the Nawab was Muhammadan. A king or governmental head must therefore be so competent to rule over the state that the citizens will worship him as God in human form. That is the perfectional stage for the head of any government or state. So here, Srila Prabhupada refers to two different main points of the verse. The first one is Yatharkaha, which refers to the sun, which is moving. And then the other point is Naradeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead represented by a king amongst the human beings or in human society. So here the common idea or common knowledge, modern knowledge says that the sun is fixed in its place, and then everything else is rotating around the sun in this planetary system that we are living in. However, the Vedic cosmology says the opposite, that the sun is moving, and actually this planet Earth, which is part of the bigger earthly a part of the bigger earthly system called Bhumandala is then fixed in its place, and actually the sun goes around in its own orbit, which then covers these earthly planets and the heavenly planets, and that way it shines to all those planets. And it is stated here in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 5th canto. You can find in the 21st chapter. The whole chapter is dedicated to the movements of the sun, or the workings of the sun. And it is stated in the verse 12 what Srila Prabhupada refers here in the purport, that the sun is moving in a very fast speed, which is said here. Well, it said that it goes in one muhurta. Muhurta is 48 minutes, so it will go 43,530,240 kilometers in one muhurta. So that makes approximately what Prabhupada states here then in the purport. And also in the Brahma Samhita, Srila Prabhupada has referred in so many places this verse of the sun moving. What was the number?
Se on sillä aika lopussa. Vähän nyt pitkin se teet.
Yes, so it's 52. Yakchaksur esa savit. Yakchaksur
Yakchaksur esa savita sakala grahanam.
Yakchaksur esa savita sakala grahanam. Raja samasta suramurti rasesa teja. Yasya yaya brahmati samrita kala chakro govindam adi purusan tamaham bhajami. So it is stated here that the sun, who is the king of all planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul, is as the eye of this world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda in Persians of whose order the sun performs his journey mounting the wheel of time. So, so these two verses and many other verses then confirm actually the fact that we every day see. And we see the fact that sun moves and we are not moving on planet Earth, or this planet Earth doesn't move. So that's the actual truth. Many times in the school the kids are taught different. Well, actually they are always taught different nowadays. But then when you speak, they have the science class and those classes, and then when I say that the sun moves and the Earth is stable, so then they say, but in the science class it was said that the sun is not moving, it's fixed, and the Earth and other planets go around the sun. And then I just say to the kids that, so, well, what do you see every day? You see that the Earth moves and sun doesn't move. And then they say that, no, we see that the sun moves. So here it is, the evidence is there, that the sun moves. So the kids take it quite easily, you know, this fact. But then for so-called scientists and so-called people that are that have studied the modern science, and in general for adults it may be very difficult. Like yesterday in the Harinam I met one of those persons. He was first he looked positive, but then I learned that this person was probably in the field of biology, and he then showed very clearly that he doesn't believe in God, and he became quite actually even you could say not angry but agitated, you could say, when I said that it's all that it's not, these are not true, these facts of Big Bang and so many things, and then he was it was a big debate actually there in front of the railway station. And
was it the Rasta man?
Yeah, that Rasta man. Yeah. So he said that it's all, what is this hoo-ha?
Bogus.
It's all bogus. It's all bogus what you are saying, but I then just said very few clear things, and then he couldn't really answer those. Like I said that if you want to explode something, you need someone to explode. So who exploded this Big Bang? Then it was a big explosion, and then like that I went on, and then at one point I just noticed that it's no use to speak with this person, and then I said that, okay, have a good day, but you can come to our temple, to our center, and we can, have a good debate there, but now I have to distribute these invitations to mantra festival, or how do you call it? So then he just started to follow me, and he started to say, everyone, that this is all bogus that they are doing here. Everyone I wanted to distribute. And then there came one boy, young man. He came by, and I had distributed him already the invitation earlier. And then I said some friendly words to him, and please come, and it would be nice that if you come. And he said that he was in a positive mood to that. And then he shouted, that Rastaman shouted there, that it's all bogus, And then that young man, he just turned around and he looked at that Rasta man, and he yelled he shouted at him back, and he said that, "What the F word you are shouting here?" And then that Rasta man, he just lost his composure. He was like totally like smashed by that young man there, and he couldn't relate to the situation. He was like, and then he stopped following me after that. But it was quite nice. I didn't have to do so much.
I think I met this guy myself also.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit crazy.
This Rastaman, or
yeah,
could be. Anyway, but so it was quite nice. I was speaking these things of cosmology. At first I thought that he was a little bit intelligent, but then it turned out that he was not that much. But it's quite interesting that you say very like logical things to those people. Like, you know, you have to have someone to explode. Also, you have to have someone to do things. You know, you have to have intelligence there if you want to have some order. For example, like this world is things happen in like this natural world is there's order in the world. So you say that, you know, you see there's order here. So does it should mean that if there's order, then there's intelligence. It's very simple to say these things, but they just it's very hard. They just start to you know, debate back, and then it becomes actually it goes to the platform of sentiments. Actually, it's just their feelings. They just express their feelings. They cannot anymore use their intelligence. They become sentimental, and then it's no use to, like that person also. He became sentimental, and it's no use of arguing anymore because they cannot take anything anymore. So that's the point, and that's why Srila Prabhupada, he has emphasized so much the preaching in the field of science, in the scientific field, and he has said that we should have this temple of Vedic planetarium that we are now building there in Mayapur. And even amongst devotees, there's been debates how this universe is working, and it's not been so clear how the universe works. But there's two different points of view in the Vedic culture. There's the point of view of seeing things from it's the view of the demigods, and also the way those who are on the path of self-realization see things, and that's like Puranic cosmology, such as this Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto cosmology. And then there's the Surya Siddhanta way to see it, which is from our point of view, from the point of view of the human beings. And they are not, although they seem to be, appear to be different, they are not different. Actually, I'm not sure, but my Guru Maharaj, Dhanami Maharaj, had once a team of mathematicians who were doing calculations to match those two different points of views together, so that we can see that in the so we can see that actually they are not contradicting at all. And this is a very important important work that we should do in the Krishna consciousness movement. Here, it's also interesting. There's interesting points here in the Srimad Bhagavatam all the time, and one interesting point is this. What is said here? This Odaya Adre, A Udaya Adrehe, from the mountain where the first appearance of the sun is visible. So it's interesting that it's like stated very clearly where the sun, when the sun rays first will be seen on this planet Earth, you could say. It's also stated that the east, like for us, east just goes on, you know. Whenever we are, the east is further, you know, according to the directions, but then according to the Vedic culture, the Bengal is east. And Vedic cosmology, that the east is there in Bengal, and then after Bengal towards, from our point of view, towards east, it's extreme west. So that's why, for example, those who are, you know, Chinese and Japanese, because it is said that you are the father, you are from the Punya Bhumi, the more degraded you are. So there's for example, amongst Chinese, they eat things that we, you know, here in Europe or USA, or we don't even want to touch. So it's considered that they are quite far from they are actually in the extreme west side of the from the point of view of the Puranic literature. So there's many interesting things, and also this was interesting just to see that the first sunrise, that the first appearance of the sun is visible in the Himalayas, actually. So it's quite, these are interesting points, and even you see how we are situated. We are Bharatkanda. This planet Earth is Bharatkanda, which is part of the Bharatvarsha, and Bharatvarsha is part of the Jambudvipa, and that's the southern part of the Jambudvipa island, which is in the center of the Bhumandala, or surrounding the Meru, Mount Meru, and we are in the southern side. Actually, this Bharatkanda is in the southern. Bharatvarsha is in the southern side, and we are one of the 9, you could say, parts of the Bharatvarsha. This is called Bharatkanda, and it is explained in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam how this Bharatvarsha was divided into those 9 parts by those sons who were antagonistic to Kapila Deva. Do you remember that?
Sons of Sagara?
Yeah, sons of Sagara, yeah. So they divided while they were searching for the sacrificial horse. So they divided this Bharatvarsha into 9 parts. So they were quite powerful, you could say. They did that. So that way it is stated, and this point of view is Puranic, and then when we see the point of view of Surya Siddhanta, then we see like how we see all these planets. So that is then all the measures are done according to that. So then there's another point here. It's Naradeva, that the king is one of he's the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it's this Sanatana Goswami, Srila Prabhupada refers to Sanatana Goswami that he addressed Nawab Hussain Shah as Naradeva because he was the king or governor at that time. So he saw the supreme person, the power of the supreme personality of Godhead in that person. So this is also an interesting point that when we or Srila Rupa Goswami, he has said that we should follow, for example, we should follow the common rules, the rules of that time, meaning the common laws of that particular country we are in. We should preferably try to do that. That is the part of the Vaishnava culture, although it is not it may not be the Vedic culture, it may not be the Manu Samhita, but still, if they are not contradicting the religious principles, then we should follow them. So that's also that the government, even the present-day government, to some extent, we can see the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are ruling, like nowadays in Finland, this Sipilä, who won the elections and like that. So he has that power. He will be the prime minister, and or he is maybe now already. I don't know, but still, so he will get that to some extent. He will have that power, and for devotee, it's a good thing to meditate also that we give respect to those people, not to the persons maybe themselves so much. They may not be, they may have good qualities or not have good qualities, but because they are in the position which is actually which actually represents the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's why we should offer respect to them. Be respectful. So it's a good way to also see the Supreme Lord in that when we see power, when we see, like yesterday we were, Avadutta Prabhu was discussing about the opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that power can be seen in the rulers, that power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we can respect that power there, as Sanatana Goswami did. There was a story in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about Sanatana Goswami who addressed Nawab Hussain Shah as such. So that's a very important point. And Srila Prabhupada, of course, here refers especially the ideal kings. They especially are the representatives, those who follow the Vedic culture, those who know thoroughly the scriptures, and rule according to them. And so there, especially of them, you can see that power. Like here, King Prithu is that person, or there's so many other kings described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, starting from Lord Ramachandra himself. So so then especially in those kings we can see that power. We can see them actually as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That. In their positions. So that's important. And here Prabhupada refers that in so many places in the Bhagavatam, especially in the first canto, but throughout the Bhagavatam, he speaks of that governmental, of that those who rule, they should be competent. And there should be, if the rulers become devotees or positive to the Krishna consciousness, then so many things may change so fast, because they have the power. they have the power to influence, they have the influence to the citizens. But at the same time, this Krishna consciousness is spread to one person at a time. But we can derive a lot of, you could say, inspiration, for example, from that Buddhist king, what was his who then the king in India who became Buddhist, and he turned the whole country into Buddhism for some time.
Was it Ashoka?
Ashoka, yeah, King Ashoka. So he is an example that of the power of a king, that you know, he becomes you know, Buddhist, and the whole country becomes Buddhist. And the same actually happened here in Europe. When the Rome Empire became Christian, August, I think he was, or Constant.
I'm not sure.
Okay, either or, but yeah, Constantine. Okay, Constantine. So then practically the whole Europe became Christian, because just one ruler became Christian. So that way we can see that they have really power to convert the citizens into all the citizens to follow religion. So that would be also ideal, that if we saw such a person. However, this Kali Yuga is so, you could say, degraded that at the moment it's not so. The king, well, there's Putin, for example, who is very powerful. So there might come a person who becomes very powerful, and he can, you know, do so many things. So also this preaching to the it would solve so many things if the rulers became competent to rule according to the Vedic culture, and especially if they become Krishna conscious. So that's an important point, because these rulers, they have already that power by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's there. So these were, let me see, yeah, now it's, so these were few points that were mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. Was it 8:30? What was it?
8:45.
Oh, 8:45. Oh, okay. All right. So then we have.
But it doesn't have to be.
All right. Yeah, we have time if you want to comment, or if you have any questions to ask. Yes, Prabhu.
A friend of mine, Antardweep, who lives in Mayapur, he's getting his PhD in astrophysics right now. And he was telling me that he's amazed how the entire science is based on speculation. They don't really know anything. Everything they say is based on inference. That, you know, what is presented to the public, actually many of them, they don't even see it, but because of something else, they say, this must be. You know, things like red stars, black holes, so much of it, there is no actual evidence. It's like a religious belief. Oh, really? So if you take that, so we can understand theoretically that because they have material vision, they don't know Krishna, that their view is faulty. But it goes deeper than that, because Prabhupada said they're actually dishonest. They're actually cheating. It's not just that they're ignorant because they're not devotees, you know, because they have faulty senses. It's deeper than that. They're actually cheating.
Starting from the moon landing.
Well, yeah, that's, you know, that because Prabhu told us that, so we accept it. And it's very interesting, if you do some research, there are many people in the world, you know, that it's hidden. You have to kind of go online and go to different forums and communities. There's many intelligent, scientifically trained people. They're not devotees. And they say that we live in a geocentric universe, not a heliocentric universe. And there was many experiments done in the early 1900s that illustrate that the Earth is still and the Sun is moving. But now you can't find them. They don't exist anymore, the evidence of these things. One very easy proof to understand that the Earth is still and the Sun is moving is that if the Earth was spinning, then, you know, air travel when you go on a flight, so they would have to calculate the time of the flight with the movement of the planet, right? Like if you were going from America to Berlin, you'd also have to take into consideration how the Earth is moving. But it doesn't. We just calculate the actual duration of the flight. Whether you're going in a straight line north, it's the same time. If the world was actually spinning, then it would be longer when you were going with the spin, and shorter if you were going against the spin. But it isn't.
That's true.
But so the real thing is that it's not a matter of what's true even. It's a matter of who's in control of the textbooks and the media and television. That's really what it's about, and what they want to be taught. It's not about truth.
Yeah, that's true. Also, my wife, she's studying physics, so she found from 1924 and from 1948 there were studies of redshift that which shows that certain things are moving, but they found that redshift is there in the sun. But nowadays, then there was a study that continued. Then in the recent years, there's no mentioning, and they try to they mention of this that there were studies of those years, but then they try to find other reasons to explain it, not the evident, you know, that comes first in your mind, that reason. They try to find another reason for explaining that redshift that is there in the sun. So, but there's studies in the, you know, in the early 20th century of these, and also you can find even in the University of Helsinki in other things like, you know, vegetarianism in the early, you know, 19-something, early 1916 or somewhere there were studies that how vegetarianism is far better than eating meat, and how there's so many problems in eating meat and like that. So it's really true, this honesty that people, they were maybe there, you know, when the times were in a way better, you know, people were more religious. So they had some honesty there, but that's true. And also Devamrita Maharaj, he has made studies he made once studies in the field of Indology, and he has made so many studies actually. He has the Searching of the Vedic India, the book, and like that. So he also said that his conclusion of the seminar, we were with Tapo Prabhu in Hungary, here in the seminar. So his conclusion there in the seminar was that of those people was that actually ultimately it comes just that, you know, just to the basic points of survival, that you have to maintain your family and you have to have that position. And in order to have that position, you have to go along with the current, you know, understanding or whatever it is dominating, you know, theory of everything like this.
It's an economic reality. It's not about philosophy and science.
Yeah, exactly.
Marshall's law, also economic theory. You learn in university that the whole world is revolving around the relationship between man and woman. That's what Marshall said, and he's considered the guru of economic modern financial theory. It is all about man and woman, the attraction of man and woman.
Exactly.
That a man is attracted to a woman, they have sex, she gets pregnant, there's children, and he must provide. And that is actually the motor that runs the whole world. This is karmi, understanding.
Exactly.
You can find also in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, Asatyam apratishthante jagad ahur anishwaram paraspara sambhutam kim anyat kama haidukam. That they say that this world is without a controller, without a God. This world is without a foundation, without a God in control, and that ultimately everything is caused by lust. That theory is there also in the Bhagavad Gita, but in the 16th chapter.
And ultimately
Marshall found it from there.
That's good. Thank you, Prabhu. Good point. Yes?
Yesterday, two friends came here in the restaurant, and one of them was asking that, do you have some books which is telling about this rakenne
Structure
of the universe?
Structure of the universe.
I understand that Bhagavatam, but it's all a big book. I don't know, maybe I have the time to read them all. But then I had five countries, one is explaining something, and so I didn't know so much. And then I saw one picture, and both of them are very interesting. That all this lokas, this lower system, and then I saw them this spiritual worlds, and they were saying that actually what we have searching, that this is the most like a largest line.
The widest.
Kertomus of universe.
Elaborated. The most elaborated explication or explanation of the universe.
So they asking about Brahma and all this. What is this Ananda? The Ananda says.
Oh, Ananda.
What is and this Brahma? They were very.
I mean, there might be in the future generations, people who then take up. But now, as long as there are these old, generations, then we might have to hear these theories.
Wasn't it so that Srila Prabhupada said that we will build this temple of the Vedic planetarium in Mayapur just to show the people of the world that what the universe is according to the Vedas, and then they may accept it or not.
And he said that it doesn't matter. We just have to show it. That it doesn't matter what they say, but we just have to show it to them. This is a very good point, Prabhu. That this dishonesty is actually the point. It's not really that they want to find something. They don't want to find the truth.
It was nice when your spiritual master was here, and he had just made his study about the Vedic cosmology, and then he showed this film, and then there was like a long questions and answers session. So I asked him that, what would you think that Stephen Hawking would think about this understanding of the universe? He said, I don't know. Maybe you should send this DVD to Stephen Hawking. It would be interesting if we would send it to him, and then if he saw it, oh, that's the thing. I've been speculating all these years, but this is the real.
Good luck. One of on the back of Forbidden Archaeology, Jurda Karma's book.
Yes.
So he actually sent copies around to many famous archaeologists and anthropologists. So this guy, Leakey, he's one of the biggest guys in terms of evolutionary anthropology, paleontology. He actually wrote a letter back saying this book is pure humbug, hoo-ha.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just really dismissing it. It wasn't like, wow, this is very interesting, and it's giving us new insights and create dialogue. No, it was like rude.
What Divyam Swami said that what is this, you know, in English, if you have this kind of horn from which all sorts of things are coming?
You mean the cornucopia, it's called?
Yeah. So he said that some of the prominent scientists had said that this book, Forbidden Archaeology, is a cornucopia of nonsense or something like that. And then that was put in the back of the book, like as an advertisement.
Yeah, it was actually
just to show that they are really sticking to their limited view.
Yeah, this book has been actually one of the bestsellers in the field of archaeology, still, although because it's been all the time very nicely selling.
I showed this book to my old biology teacher, and he was a real like fanatical evolution man, but even he had to admit that some of the things in this book are like that we cannot explain them.
Yeah, it's presented in a very scholarly, academic fashion, so it's kind of hard for them to dismiss it completely.
Yeah, that's true.
It all comes down, it's really about God. There's nothing else, it's just about God. Because their whole thing, when you try to discuss with them, they've entered the discussion with the paradigm that there's no God. They've already, that's decided.
That was the person also yesterday.
And that's therefore you can't go anywhere. Because if there's no God, if believing in God is foolish, then it had to come from nothing. Because it had to come from somewhere, so it had to come from nothing. So when you bring up objections to evolution, they say, okay, well, we can't answer that right now, but evolution must answer. We just have to look deeper.
Actually, that person also tried to refer to that it will come up. It will come up.
Well, it makes total sense. It's totally logical, because if you don't believe in God, then it must be magic. It must come from over time, and because what is the alternative? Is that some man in the sky did it? So you can't really, you know, you can't get anywhere. You know, what I do is I ask them where you got this idea of God from that you're saying isn't real. And then they say, well, from religion. And they go, so what's your training in theology then? See, it breaks the first academic rule. When they speak about God as evolutionists, they should not. They have no right. They're not trained. So you ask them, what's your qualification? Because whether there's a God or not is not a scientific statement. It's a theological statement. See, they're not trained to talk about God. So when they go there, but our modern culture says, Mr. Atheist Scientist, what is your realization on religion and God? As if they're qualified. But they're not. And you ask them, what's your qualification? I've been studying theology for 30 years. I won't tell you about a cell, the structure of a cell. Right? It's like, where did they get God from? From the books, the scripture.
There is this very loud Finnish astrophysicist, what his name is? He's very loudly speaking in all media. They give him a lot of...
Well, that's the thing. Who gets the microphone? That's the question.
And there's also one who is a writer and also teacher. He's also, I don't remember his name. But what is it the same?
But I was sometimes seeing this guy's interview in the TV, but it's all sentimental stuff what he's speaking. It's not like, it's not even very logical, but it's like his opinions that he's just presenting very forcefully.
It's religious.
It's rhetorics.
Like this guy, the #1 authority, and he's worshipped in America, and he gets on all the TV shows. His name is Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's an overweight African-American guy who's an astrophysicist and won all kinds of awards. And he gives presentations at universities. And one of his presentations is that why there is no God. And he shows that certain parts of the universe are so cold and desolate, and nature can be so cruel, that a designer would have never designed a universe like that.
Or Earth. Universe.
Both.
Okay.
Both. The natural world.
Yeah.
Right? That's his argument. That an actual intelligent designer would not have designed it like this. So that's a theological discussion. It's not scientific. Because maybe there's a designer who's not a nice guy. Right? It's not, it's just, but it's just, that's why these guys, Hawkins, Hitchens, Bill Nye, all these science guys, it's theology they're speaking. Oh, this couldn't be because a good God wouldn't design it like this. That's a theological discussion. It's not a scientific discussion. What God would be like, how he thinks, whether he's a nice guy. But somehow, this is the problem. Our modern, what's happening in our modern culture, it's called scientism. It's not, there's a word for it. It means where you worship science. Just science, not its results, but the paradigm of science. It's called scientism. That is the world religion right now. And America is the holy dawn of scientism. And all the gurus and the temples, like MIT and Smithsonian Institute, and the TV is like the Sankirtan. That's, everyone is in that religion. It's theology. It's not science.
That's a good point.
And according to Tapo, this understanding is actually, he's describing 5 levels of worship or 5 levels of consciousness. So this understanding of scientism is actually Shaktism just in the Western format, the worship of the material energy. So this is actually, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is the lowest level of consciousness.
It's the level of the senses, Annamaya level. That's true.
But that's just the situation, because at this time people have so low consciousness, so that's why they like to follow.
Yeah, ultimately it's, but of course, Prabhupada, what he said, which we have to follow because Prabhupada said it, he said actually everyone is innocent. He said the mass of humanity is innocent, and they're being misled by a small number of demons. So once, that's kind of the story. Surely, if you're cheated, it's your karma. How is it that people are in Kali Yuga being so manipulated? But Prabhupada's darshan was that actually everyone's innocent. And it's just a small number of demons that are exploiting and manipulating.
That's true. Okay, this was a very nice discussion. I think we have to finish now, it's time. So thank you very much for your very nice comments. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sri Gauranitai ki jai.